Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger, Chapter 7. A Bad Word. Early in the morning, a white limousine drove up to Wayside School, just like always. The chauffeur got out of the car, then opened the passenger door, just like always. Mr. Kidswatter stepped out of the car. "Thank you, James," he said. "My name is David," said the chauffeur, just like always. Mr. Kidswatter entered the school building. "Good morning, Mr. Kidswatter," said Miss Day, the school secretary. She handed him a cup of coffee, just like always. "Thank you, Miss Knight," said Mr. Kidswatter. He walked into his office, except his office door was closed. He smashed into it, spilling coffee all over his green suit. "Who closed my door?" he demanded. "Why didn't you just open it?" asked Mrs. Day. "It's always open in the morning," said Mr. Kidswatter. "How was I supposed to know it would be closed this time?" Up on the 30th story, Miss Jules took roll. Todd was absent. "Oh dear, I hope Todd is all right," said Miss Jules. "Todd's never all right," said Joy. She and Mauricia laughed. Damien looked at Miss Jules. Ever since he returned to Wayside School, he thought there was something different about her, but he still couldn't figure out what it was. Mr. Kidswatter's voice came over the PA system. "Good morning, boys and girls." There was the usual pause. "Today, I want to talk about doors," said Mr. Kidswatter. "This should be interesting," said Miss Jules. "Do you know how many doors there are in this school building?" asked Mr. Kidswatter. Miss Jules shook her head. "Well, there are a lot, over 30, and some of you probably have doors at home too, maybe more than one. All those doors. Think about it." "Well, Mr. Kidswatter has certainly given us something to think about this morning," said Miss Jules. "So remember," said Mr. Kidswatter, "and please be careful. Always check to see if a door is open before going through it, and if it's not open, open it. And if you can't open it yourself, ask someone to do it for you. This may not make a lot of sense to you now, but someday you'll thank me." Miss Jules looked around the class. "That's really good advice," she said. "I think most of you already knew it, but at least it's nice to know we have a principal who cares." "I hate doors," shouted Mr. Kidswatter. "It's a dumb word. Door, door, door. Who made up that word anyway?" Miss Jules waited a little longer, but Mr. Kidswatter seemed to be finished. "Some people just don't like doors," she said. "I've made a new rule," declared Mr. Kidswatter. "You may no longer say that word. You know what word I mean, but don't say it. Instead, I've made up a new word for you. Guzak. Open the Guzak. Shut the Guzak. Lock the Guzak. Don't you think that's a better word? I do. From now on, that other word is a bad word. I've made my decision." Everyone turned around and looked at the Guzak. Suddenly, it opened. Todd entered. "I'm sorry I'm late," he said. "That's okay," said Miss Jules. "I'm just glad you're not sick or hurt." "My dad locked his keys in the car," Todd explained. "We had to use the coat hanger to unlock the door." Everyone gasped. Miss Jules made Todd write his name on the blackboard under the word discipline.